shaking? It's your boy State of the New York Knicks podcast. We got game 5 of the preseason today, something that we all like to see. There was a couple of numbers that I wanted to personally look at today. So let me throw in the ad screen here, right? And this is just the preseason numbers. This is not like, I don't know if this is going to be an indicator of the season, but there's just certain things that I wanted to look at real quick before the preseason game today. Some of the numbers that I don't like, some of the numbers that I do like, right? First of all, shout outs to JB. JB is definitely getting those shots up, right? 19.7 attempts and 20.9 minutes per game. Obviously, he didn't play in game 4 of the preseason. I would like for him, as far as his points per game, 19.7. Look at his field goal attempts, right? He's only averaging 11.3 field goal attempts. He's averaging 6 field goals made. That's something that you like to see from Jalen Brunson, man. 53% from the field, right? He's being very efficient. I want him to pass the ball a little more. I want him to actively try to find his teammates throughout the game. The first 3 preseason games, for what I've seen from Brunson, I believe that Brunson is just trying to figure out his teammates. You notice that he's found Karl-Anthony Towns a couple of times on pick and roll situations. I forgot which preseason game was. I believe it was against the Hornets, most likely. But there was a point in the second quarter, in the third quarter, where Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson actively took over a preseason game with the pick and roll play. That's something that I would love to see. He's averaging 4 in preseason. I want him to get it up to about regular season wise. Can I get 8 per game? You got some efficient players on the team now. Just 8 per game from him. I believe that would be great. Also, last season, I believe Jalen Brunson was second in the NBA in shot attempts, right? This season, I would like for him to scale that back down too. Bring it down to about 17 per game. Just trying to find your guys more, pick your spots more. We don't actively have to see Jalen Brunson go for 50 every game. It would be nice though. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think with this iteration of the roster, we don't actively have to see that. Another thing that I like from Jalen Brunson during the preseason, his three-point percentage in his attempts, right? He's shooting for around 4, right? And he got 1.7 made for 42%. I'm just rounding it off. And that's a good free throw. That's a good 3-point percentage, right? I love the 3-point percentage from him. Also, his free throw percentage, 82%, right? Last season, he was underwhelming from the free throw line. I believe that Jalen Brunson and me personally, I watched him give up a lot of points at the free throw line. The free throw line has been an Achilles heel for the New York Knicks for the past couple of years. It's annoying to watch these guys in free throws, right? Shout out to Poland Spring, nice little good water. But past couple of years with the free throws, right? It's been horrendous. Luckily in preseason, the Knicks as a team are top 3 in free throw percentage. That's something that we love to see. Like I'm tired of watching the team. Well, I'm gonna say we're tired of watching the team leave empty points on the board, right? Their free throws is called free for a reason, right? You have the free throw line, just make them. Sometimes it's all in the mentals when it comes to making free throws, right? One more thing that about Jalen Brunson that I would like to see from him, the steals per game department, right? He only averaging 0.3. He's very steady on defense. I don't want Jalen Brunson sacrificing his body a lot this year. Understandable. Last year, he was top 3 in charges drawn. That's a great thing from Brunson. Hopefully that could go down this year because he is 6'1". I want to protect the franchise point guard. I want his prime to last as long as it can, right? And I want to win a championship with Jalen Brunson at the helm. So to keeping this man healthy is imperative for the New York Knicks, right? One of the standouts for me in preseason so far, Miles McBride, man. Shouts to Deuce McBride, man. He's worked on his game. He looks very steady in preseason. He's picking his spots. 28 minutes per game, 3 games played, 17.3 points per game. The thing that's eye-popping for me when it comes to Deuce McBride or Miles McBride, whatever you want to call him, the 16 field goal attempts per game. in preseason. He's getting them joints up. That's kind of an indicator that he might be the sixth man, a role that a lot of us Knicks fans, foreseen him having even before the season started. He looked like the only scorer off the bench. Also, he's been here for a couple of years. He understands Thibodeau's system. He understands what Thibodeau wants from his point guards. One of the eye-popping things from Deuce McBride as well in preseason, he's shooting 9 3-point attempts per game, making 3 of them, 37% from 3, which is actually amazing on high volume. So he's actively working on his shot, getting the kinks out of the way. The one thing you want to see from Deuce McBride in the preseason is definitely his free throw attempts. He's only shot 2 free throws in the preseason. I want him to get in the paint more. You got to muck it up. Right? He's down 100% from the free throw line. Muck it up a little more, right? The assists per game, 3.7. He's moving the ball a little more. Even though Tyler Kolek, in my opinion, looks way more steady. The steals per game, 0.7. Just bring that up a little more. He's going to be the point of attack defender next season coming off the bench. There will be lineups where you see OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Deuce McBride, and Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor at the same time, with most likely Precious, a lineup that I would like to see, me personally. So, Deuce McBride, man, he's been stellar in preseason, right? Taking control of the ball, not fouling as much, being very aggressive, defending the perimeter. So shout out to Deuce McBride. Next is Karl-Anthony Towns, man. Kat, the one thing I don't like about Kat so far is the field goal percentage, the 35%. You got to bring that up. As well with Miles McBride, 37%, shooting civil rights numbers. Y'all both got to bring it up, especially for Kat, right? When Kat is going to the rim, he is great. I look at Kat now as an outside end player. So what I mean by that is a guy who he fills out his game shooting from the outside in. A notable guy that I believe personally that I watched on his prime that was an outside end player was Dirk Nowitzki. Now, Dirk Nowitzki is a guy who, for me personally, played outside in. Very great, very efficient, steady basketball player. I like to see that, from Karl-Anthony Towns, but be more efficient. If you shoot 2 threes and you clank both of them, right? Brother, get in the paint. Get in the paint. I think the first couple of games, if I'm not mistaken, the first quarter, especially in games 1 and games 2, I watched Thibodeau play Mikal on the block a lot, posting Mikal up. I like that iteration of the offense where you're posting Mikal up and Kat is standing at the 3-point line, but I definitely want to see more Kat post up. Shout outs to Tony and shout outs to OGs. That's on the timeline who says that a lot. I definitely want to see more Karl-Anthony Towns post ups. It's up to Jalen Brunson to actively, tell Karl-Anthony Towns, get your big caboose in the paint. You got to get in the paint, right? Another thing I don't like from Kat, 6 3-point attempts per game. I think that's going to be around his regular season average. The 1.3 3-point attempts made at 22%. Gotta pick that up, bro. Gotta pick that up, Kat. You gotta pick that up. You gotta be better from the 3-point line. Don't just camp out there now. Muck it up, mix it up. We seen Kat put it on the floor. One thing I love about Kat, when you get a rebound off, a defensive rebound, he don't try to bring the ball up. He dumps the ball off, right? He plays his position. He knows his role. I would like for him to go coast to coast sometimes, but let your guards take it up for you, bro. Let Mikal and those boys take it up for you, bro. That's one thing. Kat is quick decisions off the ball. Doesn't matter where he's on the court. I love that from him. The ball doesn't stick to his hands, right? You just continue to move the ball. Kat is going to be really good for the Knicks, man. He's going to have a great season for the New York Knicks, man. A great season for the New York Knicks. Shout outs to Karl-Anthony Towns, man. Shout outs to Brock Aller for even finagling, I believe it was $7.2 million. Daquan Jeffries and those guys, they include those guys in signing trades to get Karl-Anthony Towns here, right? Shout outs to Jalen Brunson, who took $100 million less to get here. Shout outs to Pacome Daddier, because he took less than what a first rounder is supposed to get to be a New York Knick, right? So these are things that you like to see. These are things that you like to see, man. Shout outs to Kat, man. And listen, just real quick on the Kat thing, and then we're gonna get right back to the whole New York Knicks preseason stats. Look at Patrick Ewing, man. Look at Patrick. Look at all of this greatness throughout the whole 90s. 22, 10, and 2. A steal, 2 blocks. 23, 11, 3 assists. A steal, 2 blocks. Right? I believe this was his best season. 28, 11, and 2. 1 steal and 4 blocks. Shooting 55% from the field. This is what Karl-Anthony Towns is up against. CW Flash, top of the morning. Top of the morning to you, brother. Top of the morning to you. Knicks 411, top of the morning to you. This is what Karl-Anthony Towns is up against. I need excellence from that young man. I know it's preseason. I'm just talking about the regular season. You see these stats. He got to give me 20 and 10 next season. He's the sole starting center. I need dominance from him. I need dominance from Kat. I absolutely need dominance from Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think he could do it. And I'm going to challenge Karl-Anthony Towns myself. Can you give me 2 blocks this year? I would love to see you average 2 blocks this year. Would love to see you average that. And we looking at Karl-Anthony Towns stats right now. Right? Obviously, 2015, 2016, he went first overall. And his best season, I believe, he averaged 26, 11, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. The season prior to that, right? Karl-Anthony Towns averaged 20, 24, 12, 3, 1 steal, 1.6 blocks. Can you give me 2 blocks per game? This is New York. Traded Randall for you. A sole piece who helped bring the Knicks back to relevancy. I need excellence from you, brother. Gotta have excellence. I'm not holding Karl-Anthony Towns' hand at all this season. He shoots civil rights numbers. I'm calling him out on the timeline. I don't want to see the whining, the panting, the not running back on D. I don't want to see that shit, bro. It's championship time. I want to see excellence from that young man. I think he can do it. Once again, shout out to Brock Olive for finagling that trade. And let's get right back to it, right? When it comes to this Knicks preseason. The 4th player, Pacome Daddier. Oh my goodness, Pacome Daddier. I love what I've seen from the kid. I love what I've seen from the kid, man. The off-ball relocation. The understanding just don't stand in one spot. Keep moving. Keep 45 cutting. Keep cutting. Keep setting screens. Go from side to side. Become available for the basketball. That's stuff that I like to see from this young man. He's still young. He's still young. He's still a baby. Right? And shout out to Knicks fans who was battling me yesterday because obviously I put out a lineup where I said Pacome Daddier, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson and these guys. And for Knicks fans, like, yo, come on, stay with the nonsense, man. But that's just like what I like to do. And if you want, you can go read the Substack I wrote on Pacome Daddier. Shout out to Pacome Daddier. I know I'm saying his name wrong. It's Daddier, Diadet, whatever, man. But shout outs to Pacome, right? Go read the Substack. I just wrote a Substack last night on mental health, right? Please go read. Please go tune in. Shout outs to Pacome Daddier, man. But he played a stellar game, man. He had 16 points in 1 quarter, right? I want to see him play today. And the Landry Shamlet injury, you don't want to see guys get hurt. But sometimes in the NBA, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You got to seize the opportunity when it's handed to you, right? At first, I never thought Pacone was going to play. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't think he was going to play. I didn't think Tyler Kolek was going to play. I thought these guys was going to be buried on the bench for the whole season because I like Landry Shamlet. I think Landry Shamlet is a serviceable basketball player. I think he's very good at what he does. He would have been the sniper for the New York Knicks. I love his game. Doesn't hold the ball too much. Very methodical, straight to the point. Coming off a screen, let it fly. He don't got space, he gets off the rock. I like to see that. It's making Tibbs' offense look good when you get unselfish guys in the building. But when it comes to a guy like Shamlet, now that he's hurt, and I'm looking at the Knicks roster, me personally, I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, who's going to play next? You got TJ Warren. I like TJ Warren. Don't get it messed up. I like TJ Warren. Also, keynote, TJ Warren also played in Phoenix. He also has a relationship with Mikal Bridges, also has a relationship with Landry Shamlet. So the camaraderie is there already. The chemistry is there already. When people say continuity, we probably don't have overall continuity with the New York Knicks, but we do have continuity when it comes to certain groupings with the New York Knicks. The only person who's like relatively new to like everybody really is Karl-Anthony Towns. Right. So if there is a guy on the New York Knicks where people will say, shouts to OG Billy, where he says, give these guys like 20 games and stuff. I might have to give Karl-Anthony Towns a little 20 games if that's the case. But I don't want to do that because of the man who we traded Kat for. I got to hold him to that same standard. At certain times, it was unrealistic. Oh, the fuck well. So, I mean, it's two sides to every coin. I just wanted to explain both sides of the coin, right? And when it comes to a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, I need to see excellence from him. But when it comes to a guy like Pacone Dadier, I want to see what Tibbs do with the rotation. Because as of right now, thinking about the bench, for me personally, just thinking about the bench, and you can see the whole roster right here, even on this screen, just looking at the roster and looking at the wings that's available to the New York Knicks. TJ Warren, Pacone Dadier off the bench. So it comes down to those two. Knowing Tibbs, he would play TJ Warren ahead of Pacone Dadier, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pacone shows out today that Tibbs will play Pacone above him. Because Tibbs has played every first-round pick the past couple of years. But at the end of the day, this is Tibbs. So regardless of my feelings, if TJ Warren plays, hey, I'm down. He ain't no Alec Burks. He ain't no Alec Burks, I tell you that. He ain't no Alfred Payton. He ain't none of those dudes I hated in the past. I will not be complaining about TJ Warren. I actually like his game. And he got the height that I want, right? So shouts to Pacone. Next, Cameron Payne. Little ugly little motherfucker. I love Cameron Payne. I love his game. Very steady. This is the first time I look at a Knicks roster, and like from 1 to 15, I like every person on the roster. I've never seen some shit like this before. It's baffling. I can't even go on the timeline. I can't even go on the timeline and shamelessly complain about the roster. I can't even do that no more. I like the roster so much. I like what Leon Rose has done. I actually love what he's done. Right? And shout out to Coach, man. Coach is in here. State, my guy, Coach, I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Pac-Man. Shout out to Pac-Man. I believe I heard D was the first person to give him the Pac-Man name. A couple other people, I think Mo gave him that nickname too. Probably Papa left. One of these guys, 2 of these guys, 3 of these guys. It doesn't matter. But shout out to Pac-Man, man. I appreciate you, Pac-Man. Pac-Man Shamlet. You know what I'm not going to do this year? I'm not getting into who's better than who. I don't care. I like the roster, bro. I don't think that's I don't even think that's a conversation. Yeah, the front office went in. Well deserved. Walt Parent too. He cooked up. I gotta see a bigger sample size with the kids, but he cooked up. Back to Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne, he diving on the floor in preseason, right? Average of 26.4 minutes per game, 13.3 points per game, 5.3 field goal made attempts on 13.5 shots attempted, right? He won't attempt this many shots in the regular season, but you do like the fact that he gets his shots up. I did see in certain tweets from certain Knicks fans who said Cameron Payne was ball hogging. I didn't see ball hogging from him. I just seen a player who's trying to make plays, me personally. That's something that I want Cameron Payne to continue to do. I actually like Cameron Payne. He plays good defense. He's an irritant. He's going to get under people's skin. Plus, he's one of those dudes that I wanted on the Knicks for a very long time. We need some ugly cats on here. Everybody clean shaven and got nice beards. They look well groomed. No, that's not New York. You know, maybe when you going to get a new job interview, you know, shouts to all the people who's trying to get jobs. Shouts to all the people who's working. You know, maybe you want to look good for the post game, or you want to look good for the camera and stuff like that. But when you get on that court regular season, I need some scruff in there. I need some ugly in there. Somebody who's going to muck it up. Who don't give a damn how they look. You're going to get the girls regardless. Can you muck it up? Payne does it. Right? You like his three-point percentage. You don't like the field goal percentage. 39% from the field. Maybe when his attempts come down, he'll shoot a better percentage from the field, right? The three-point attempts, you love that. 6.3 attempts per game, right? 2.3 threes made. That is stuff that you like to see from Cameron Payne, right? 36% from the field, right? One thing I don't like from Cameron Payne, the field goal attempts, the free throw attempts, 0.8. Get into the paint more. I want you to muck it up. The 67% from a point guard. Gotta muck it up. That's a nasty percentage for a point guard. You gotta muck it up. Right? The assists per game, though, it stands out. 5.3. He's moving that pill. Also, shout out to Pacome Daddy. He did get a steal that game as well. But back to Cameron Payne, 0.8 steals, right? So, Cameron Payne, he's playing well. I like the Cameron Payne, Deuce McBride backcourt. Both of these guys could survey the field, play, make, find others. Next up, we got Mikal Bridges. Shouts to Mikal Bridges, man. His ISO game is trash to me personally. His ISO game is absolute basura. Him and OG Anunoby, I watched them on multiple ISOs, and they can't get past my career mode plays. I need better from him when it comes to ISO. Right? Last game, he wasn't efficient from the field. Overall preseason, he's very efficient in preseason, shooting 52% as a wing, a perimeter player, right? On 9 field goal attempts per game. I want to see those 9 field goal attempts in the regular season go up to 13. 13 to 14 to 15, around that area. I think Mikal needs to be way more aggressive. We gave up so much for this young man. It has to work with Mikal. I gotta see Mikal become more aggressive, right? Or overall, become more aggressive, bro. Defensively, he's good. I think defensively, he's very steady. Him and OG on switches. I like that. I want to see him and OG with pressures on the court. I want to see what that looks like with Deuce McBride, right? But he's very steady. The three-point attempts, I want to see him chuck up more threes. Only three threes attempts per game. I don't like that. I need at least 5 or 6 from him. Chuck him up, bro. You got to get up more threes, bro. At 22%, I know it's not going to stay at 22%, but you got to shoot more threes, bro. Also, the free throw percentage, 71%. You're a perimeter player. I need better from you from the free throw percent. Free throw line, brother. Need better from you. Rebounding. Mikal, 3.3, unacceptable. Need more rebounding from you. And 25 minutes per game, I expect at least 5 rebounds. You're going to be playing 30-plus minutes a night. I need at least 5 to 6 rebounds from you per game. Got to muck it up. Somebody got to join Karl Anthony Towns until Mitchell Robinson gets back, or the Knicks do another deal where they trade Mitch and get another piece in here, another wing, yo, you got to muck it up, bro. I need more rebounding from Mikal, bro. Need more rebounding from Mikal. Steals per game, 1. That's what you like to see. But just be steady defensively. More ISO buckets from Mikal. That's what I want to see. It's not about him playing off ball. Great off ball play. He always moves off the ball, right? Always 45 cuts from the top wings. I love what he does. Always relocates to the corner. But when it comes to playoff time, when we give you the ball on the left block or the right block, which the Knicks have been trying to do, they've been trying to settle Mikal Bridges in those little post-ups to start the game. Like I seen in game 1 and game 2, right? I need more shot creation from him, basically. Right. Next up on the list, Tyler Kolek. Yo, I didn't know Kolek was this good, man. Steady basketball player, by the way. Very steady. Shouts to Tyler Kolek. Will he see minutes early this season? I don't know, because I'm not playing a lineup with Tyler Kolek, Deuce McBride, and Cameron Payne. That sounds like injury for me. I'm trying to avoid injury as much as possible. But at the same time, if, and this is just it for me, if Deuce McBride playing trash or Cameron Payne playing trash, throw in Tyler Kolek. He's steady, bro. 11 points per game, 8 attempts per game, shooting 45% from the field. Shout outs to Tyler Kolek, 46% from the field, rather. Only shooting 33% from 3 on 5 attempts. You want to see him put an uptick more to that, almost making 2 threes per game. But, can get it up to 35%. Maybe I'm nitpicking, the hell with it. You like the fact that Tyler Kolek is averaging 3.7 rebounds for a small guard his size, right? Tyler Kolek will muck it up. That's a good indicator for the regular season. If something was to happen to another guard on our team, Tyler Kolek will be able to get in there, muck it up. I'm not too worried about the assist department neither. He's shown he's been a good playmaker. There was one game this preseason. I don't know if it was against the Wolves or the Hornets, where Tyler Kolek at one point had 7, 9, and 8. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice he had 7, 9, and 8. I'm not really a box score watcher. When I'm watching the game, I'm really trying to watch the game and just write my notes at the same time. But for him to have those stats, and I did not know, that tells me he know how to affect the game without having the basketball primarily in his hands. And when he does have the basketball in his hands, he makes great decisions. Noted with his 5 assists per game. Something that I like to see. Also, the 1.3 steals. Love that from Tyler Kolek. Defensively, he's solid. He's more solid than I thought. Way more solid than I thought, man. Shout outs to Tyler Kolek, man. He's been good in the preseason, man. I really like his game. Hopefully he could get some minutes this season. I know he will. But shouts to Tyler Kolek, man. Next up on the list, Landry Shamlet. Obviously, Landry Shamlet had a horrific injury. It looked like he dislocated his shoulder or tore his shoulder or something. It looked really bad. It reminded me of Julius Randle. Shamlet was having a good preseason so far, even though he was shooting 36% from the field on field goal attempts. He was shooting a 7.5 3-point attempts per game, and he was making 2.3, shooting 30% from 3, 100% from the free throw line, 2.8 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists, 1 point steal, 1 steal per game. I felt like Shamlet was having a stellar preseason, man, showing us guts. I like the fact that he can move off ball. We got a lot of guys who's very smart off ball. We did not have that, the past couple of years prior to this year. We had a couple of players who used to stand still a lot. Maybe they was young players. They was young players. But certain young players is different. Like Bacome Daddier, he always moves off the ball. Tyler Kolek, he always moves off the ball. It's also about infrastructure. We got a good infrastructure guys who likes to move off the ball and do certain things without the basketball. That's why I like the fact that Bacome Daddier said that, Mikal Bridges was his vet. Tyler Kolek is saying Jalen Brunson is his vet. So that's nice to see, man. We got to keep that up. Shout out to Landry Shamlet. Won't go get into deep with Landry Shamlet. Wish him nothing but the best. But the NBA is a dog-eat-dog world. And what I think will happen is, he won't be able to return. And I think that a guy like Pacome or Tyler Kolek will take that spot, or a guy like TJ Warren, and they're going to run with it and go far. So we'll see. You'll definitely see, man. Next up, we got Precious Achiuwa, man. He had a nice 20 point, 16 rebound game with 2 threes made. I'm a box score watch Precious when it comes to those threes, because him shooting and making threes is so important to the Knicks offense. He has to be able to space the floor. And the thing that I like about Precious is he's taking wide open threes that he has to take. Shoot him, bro. If I was Precious' trainer, I would tell Precious to stay in the gym and shoot a million threes per game, because that's going to open up the floor for himself. That's going to make himself a lot of money. That's also going to open up the floor for the Knicks offense. And the one thing that I like about Precious this preseason, he's very efficient from the field. Only shooting 9 field goal attempts per game. You want him to, stay around that, area. He's shooting 46% from the field. Some, a key number that you would like for him to get up, since he's a power forward / center, get that up to about 48. The one key stat for him is the 3-point attempts, right? 1.5, and his 3-point percentage is 500. So a guy like Precious Achiuwa, if he could just keep his 3-point percentage up to at least 35% during the regular season and make a good enough amount of threes to where the defense has to bend to guard him, he could be a valuable asset to the New York Knicks. And the one thing that Precious Achiuwa does that I really like, that's not shown in preseason right now, is the blocks per game. In his starts last season, he averaged 1.5 blocks per game in his starts for the New York Knicks, right? Another thing that you like from Precious Achiuwa, the 5.5 defensive rebounds and the 8 rebounds total per game. And Precious, the 2 assists per game, right? We're not expecting Precious to play make, but he does pass the ball well. He's trying to make plays, so he's averaging 1.8. In the turnover department, he's averaging 1.5. So you want to make sure he brings that down even lower. But overall, I think Precious is having a stellar preseason. I wouldn't be surprised if he's named the starting power forward come regular season time. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the primary power forward or center backup come regular season time. But he has to play into this rotation. And shouts to Precious, man. The next guy up is OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is a guy who I want aggressive OG Anunoby. I don't want him passing the ball like that, even though he's an overpasser. Shooting 36% from the field in preseason. I'm pretty sure that's going to get an uptick. And he's only shooting 25% from 3. I'm pretty sure that's going to get an uptick. But when it comes to OG Anunoby, you just want him to be more aggressive. That's the one thing about OG that bothers me. Shooting a great percentage from the free throw line, by the way, in preseason, 87%, well, 88%. But you want OG Anunoby to be more aggressive. Give me around 11, 12 attempts per game this season, right? I think that would be good for him. Also, another challenge I got for OG Anunoby, can you become Defensive Player of the Year award winner, right? We need one. We should have the first Defensive Player of the Year award winner for the New York Knicks since Tyson Chandler. And shout out to Tyson Chandler. He played great for us that season. Shout out to Knicks tape. But I think OG has a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's averaging 1.3 steals in the preseason, 0.7 blocks. I'm pretty sure in the regular season, both of those will uptick. I believe that he will average a block and a steal per game while shooting 80+% from the free throw line, while shooting 38+% from 3. Those are stellar numbers. Can he do it? Yes, he can, and he should. Make it $200 million. That man, he gotta have some type of accountability for this dude, bro. But shout out to Precious. Shout out to my African brother, man. TJ Warren is next up. He only played in 2 games, 11 minutes per game. Shooting 67% from the field on 3 field goal attempts. Shooting 33% from the field on 3-point attempts. TJ Warren is a guy who probably will be the first wing called off the bench tonight. We'll see if the starters will play. Hopefully, I believe they'll play. This is the last preseason game. Give them a good tune-up for the regular season. But, hey, man, when it comes to TJ Warren, just muck it up defensively. If he's the sole wing coming off the bench, just shoot a great percentage and get your career back on track. He's been hurt a lot these past couple of years. So if he could get back to the TJ Warren that averaged at least 15 points per game 3 years straight, now I think we'll be fine with TJ Warren being the backup and sending Pacome Daddy and Tyler Kolek to the G League for those guys to get reps throughout the season. Last but not least, I got Ariel Hakaporti and Jericho Sims. This has been an emotional battle for me because Ariel Hakaporti, for me, he looks way more mature when it comes to defense on and off ball for the New York Knicks as opposed to Jericho Sims. But at the same time, Jericho Sims paid his dues. And when you pay your dues with Thomas Thibodeau, you get rewarded. So I think Jericho Sims will be the backup center to start the season. We will wait and see on what they're going to do with Mitchell Robinson. But I think that job is going to go to Jericho Sims unless he's messing up. Now, if he's messing up, you give it to Ariel Hakaporti. Ariel should be converted into a regular season contract soon. He's still on the two-way. I think Ariel Hakaporti has shown he's done great things in preseason, man. I like what I'm seeing from the preseason. Shout out to the 101, 107 people, that's tuning in. Of course. Look, Banks, man. Look, listen, Ariel Hakaporti IQ has shown, and it's been way better than Jericho Sims in the preseason, right? But I think what Tibbs will do is give Jericho Sims that job, and it's for him to lose. So listen, man, if it was up to me, honestly, I would play but Mitchell Robinson is not healthy. I would play Precious solely as the backup 4 and the backup 5. And I would make Jericho Sims and Ariel Hakaporti situational. But it all depends. Honestly, man. It all depends, man. Do you think the Knicks will sign Morris? No, the Knicks cannot sign Morris back. Coach, Kolek is a bootleg Mark Price with bad defense. This is not a diss. The kid is a baller. Shouts to Mark Price. I hope Tom isn't hungry for a win and still sits rotational players. I hope he's not. No Deuce or Precious. And then you got Banks laughing. Man, listen, man. Jericho Sims, I wish the brother nothing but the best. I'm being honest with y'all, man. I wish Sims nothing but the best, man. Tibbs is going to play Jericho Sims over Ariel Hakaporti. Would I do that? I don't know. To be honest with you. And one of the last things I wanted to look at before I ended this live stream, also shout out to the 100+ people that tuned in. I wanted to look at the Knicks team preseason stats, right? And I think these are important as well when it comes to the New York Knicks. Let's go to 2024, 2025, right? And as of right now, the New York Knicks, oh my goodness, the Milwaukee Bucks. Oh my God. If the Bucks fall back this year, I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Orlando Magic still can't score. Funny, interesting. The New York Knicks right now, as you can see here, they're top 12 in points per game as a team. Something that, you like to see from the New York Knicks. Obviously, a lot of these teams that's in the top 12, you see Boston Celtics, they're second. The Indiana Pacers, they're still scoring at a ridiculous rate, leading the league in points. I think these stats are kind of indicators of what you're going to see throughout the regular season. The one stat I hate for the New York Knicks. You see the field goal percentage right here? You see top 10 right here? All the teams that's in top 10. Why is the Knicks in the bottom 5 again? This coach, if he does not get the Knicks to a championship and win, he needs to be fired. Allow him to retire and go to greener pastures. Go get us a coach that can talk offensive efficiency, please. with a better, set of plays, like Karl Anthony Towns running a screen and roll with Jalen Brunson coming up the screen, his player for Karl Anthony Towns, like stuff like that. Inverted screens from different players. OG and Anunoby doing a pick and roll, having Mikal Bridges come up for the pick or something. Like, we get freaky with the offense. But this is a disgusting number I'm looking at, this 42%. And I've been posting the shot chart for the New York Knicks the past couple of games in the preseason. And each time I notice like they're under 45%. That is a number that has to get up. They have to pick that up, right? Got to pick that up. The New York Knicks also, when it comes to three-point percentage, they're in the middle of the pack. In the middle of the pack. You can see them right here shooting 32% from three, but they got to pick that up, bro. Utah Jazz is shooting the goddamn lights off the rim. The Knicks is also top 12 in three-point attempts. So they got to pick up the three-pointers, man. I think I'm not too worried about that because the past couple of seasons under Thomas Thibodeau, the three-point percentage, it's been cool. It's been fine. It's that goddamn field goal percentage. This team got to find a way to find better shots under the three-point line. That has to change. One of the most beautiful numbers for the New York Knicks. Leading the league in free throw percentage. Welcome. I'm sick of being bottom 5 in free throw percentage for a team that's damn near top 10 and paint points every single season under Thomas Thibodeau. The free throw percentage is great to look at. They have to keep this up. We left a lot of games on the table last season just over free throws. We left a couple of playoff games in seasons prior just over free throws. One evident game was game 6 for me versus Miami. We left a lot of free points on the board. Man. So, that free throw percentage, that's beautiful for me. Another beautiful stat. This is with no Mitchell Robinson, by the way. The Knicks are currently, and if I get this right, they are 6th in rebounding in the NBA in preseason. That is a good indicator. This is with no Mitchell Robinson, by the way. So if Mitchell Robinson, we don't trade him and he comes back into the Knicks, that number is going to spike up. And then the Knicks possessions is going to spike up because how are you getting possessions with Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns and Precious and Ariel and Jericho Sims? So I like that number. I like that number a lot. Now, this shit got to stop. I'm sick of the Knicks free throw, the Knicks assists being bottom 10 every single goddamn season under Thomas Thibodeau. It's getting annoying now. That has to stop. Move the ball, share the ball. The Knicks been moving the ball in preseason. But evident by the free throw, the goddamn field goal percentage, which we're bottom in the league once again. A lot of these assists are being left on the board. I believe they're going to pick that up. Right? I believe they're going to pick that up. Less ISO ball, more team basketball. Right? Need more team basketball. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors. They sharing the pill a lot. Man, you quickly, man. I hope he's doing well over there, man. Shout out to Quick, man. Appreciate you, young king. Another thing with the New York Knicks that you love to see, they don't turn the ball over. They've been a very careful team with the Rock past couple of years with Thomas Thibodeau, right? So if you're not turning the ball over, you're not giving away free possessions. That's the one thing you like to see with the New York Knicks. They've always been a high IQ team under Thomas Thibodeau when it comes to keeping the ball away from the other team. They don't turn the ball over a lot. We're number 1 in the NBA in that. Second in the league is the Boston Celtics, as you notice. And we got to continue that trend. Oh, Miami Heat is just blocking shots. I mean, they just stealing shit left and right, huh? Shout out to the New York Knicks. I want the Knicks to be top 5 in steals, right? We're in the middle of the pack in steals, as you can see right here. We're in the middle of the pack, 9.3 steals. I want to see the Knicks pick that up. I think the Knicks got the best perimeter duo in the NBA. And just to, pick up that steal department, that they got to pick that up. But it's only preseason. They've been doing good. I believe one game they forced the Washington Wizards into 20-plus turnovers. So pick up that steal stat, man. I like that. The ugliest thing about the Knicks just downright ugly, just more uglier than the, free throw percentage. For me, the blocks per game. I need more blocks per game. 3.8. I don't like how the Knicks are bottom in the league in blocks per game. Only because Karl-Anthony Towns, you could block some shots. Get up in there and muck it up. OG Anunoby, get up in there and muck it up. Precious, get up in there and muck it up. Jericho Sims, where's your goddamn defensive IQ? You need to get up in there and muck it up. Gotta get up in there and muck it up, man. As far as the plus minus is concerned, the Knicks are +9. So shout out to the New York Knicks, man. Obviously, the PFD, the personal fouls drawn for the New York Knicks, they're actually third in the NBA. So when you're third in the NBA and personal fouls drawn, you're also first in the NBA in free throw percentage. That goes hand in hand. I like what I'm seeing with that as far as the New York Knicks. Also, the New York Knicks are committing the least fouls, right? You want to see that. I want to see the Knicks be number one in the NBA, committing the least fouls. They got to commit the least fouls. When you commit the least fouls and you play defense like that, ooh, that's a good recipe for winning, man. So far, though, when it comes to the New York Knicks, I like what they're doing. Preseason, they've been very steady. They got to continue that. Today, final preseason game for the New York Knicks. Interesting week coming up, right? The 22nd, I believe Tony will be at Blarney's. The 25th, the Knicks' first home game. The Knicks will be versus the Pacers. Knicks' first home game. I will be at Blarney's next Friday. So if you are a Knicks fan, try to chop it up, man. Come through, man. Let's have some fun, man. Let's get some drinks. Also, last but not least, before I get out of here, salute to the Liberty ladies. Salute to Sabrina. What a fucking shot. That was easily top 3 of my lifetime. One of the best clutch shots I've ever seen, bro. Easy. Kyrie got number 1 for me because I watched that Kyrie shot versus the Warriors live. So watching that's like, oh, that Sabrina shot. Oh, my God. That was a shot, man. And shout out to the Lady Liberty, man. They went away from winning their first championship in New York Liberty history. That's something that you must applaud. I will be at that parade. I'm going out there with the gallon of Henny. We passing out shots. We're going to have fun. Next week, I'm also sending 3 ladies some Lady Liberty jackets, man. Some custom joints that I made, man. Some State of New York Knicks joints, man. But shout out to Lady Liberty, man. They doing so well, man. I like what I'm seeing in New York, man. Mets, pick it up. Come on, New York Mets, pick it up. Yankees, what? Come on now. Getting beat by a walk-off home run. Come on now. Pick that shit up. I want to see a Yankees versus Mets World Series. I want to see it. Pick it up. But shout out to the fans, man. Shout out to the New York Knicks fans, man. Shout out to the fan base, man. Shout out to the Knicks management, man. Shout out to everybody who tuned in today. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. This is one of the best fan bases so far. We have a great culture going. Let's continue the culture, right? Let's continue to have this positive vibe culture, and let's continue to put out content, man. I love what I've seen today. What inspired me today to do this short little run through the preseason, the first 4 preseason games? I was listening to Stab and Shot 2 by 38 Special and Benny the Butcher. I said, oh, yeah, let me do something real quick. Let me put in some work real quick, man. So shout out to Benny the Butcher, man, and 38 Special, man. I listening to Stab and Shot 2. That put me in another mood, man. I got a little motivated from it. I'm not gonna lie, but salute the Knicks fans once again, man. It's your boy State. I'm out of here, man. God bless y'all, man. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a blessed day, man. Salute. Shouts to J Bug for that quote.